this is how we're going to make a witch's hat for cupcakes, or just for the fun of it. Okay, I've got 2 pieces of coloured sugar paste, one in black and one in purple, or you can choose whatever colours you like, but we're going for a black witch's hat with a purple trim on it. So starting with the black, you can see roughly how big that is in the palm of my hand. We want to split that into 2, pretty much equal pieces, a bit bigger than a Malteser, I guess. Okay, now put one to one side. That's going to be the base of the hat. We're going to start with the peaked part, so just in your hands, gently taper off until we start to get that teardrop kind of shape. Okay, now you could have a perfectly uniform witch's hat if you wanted to, but I prefer the more sort of crazed witch kind of things. So I'm just set it down on my work mat. I'm just allowing my fingers to kind of, pull it a little bit out of shape and leave a few indentations in there so it looks like a bit more of a battered old worn witch's hat. Okay, easy peasy. So that's that bit. The other bit, this is going to form the base of the hat. Now you could roll this flat and then use a circular cutter to cut a nice circle, and then you sit the hat on top of that. But not everybody's got cutters to hand, so all we're going to do is we're going to roll it into a ball, and we're just going to squish it down a little bit. And then just sort of gauge roughly how big you want it. I think that's about great. Now all I'm going to do now is just pinch the ends, because I don't want it to look nice and uniform. I want it to look like I said, a battered old witch's hat. So nothing too difficult about this. Alrighty. So I'm just going to use a little bit of water out of the kettle. It's best to use cool boiled water. And we're just going to put a little bit of water on there. You don't need very much at all. It gets super sticky. And we're just going to secure that top part of the hat to the bottom. And if you want to as well, you can sort of kick it up a little bit around the rim just to give it a bit more visual interest. And also, if you're doing this with children, it's great then if you're not working to things that that have to be perfect and so all the time. Puts them at ease as well. Alrighty. So I'm going to take some of my purple now. You only need a very small amount. And I'm just going to roll that out. Now I'm using a non-stick mat, but whenever you roll anything out, you really need to give yourself a layer of either corn flour or icing sugar between your mat and your sugar paste, and your sugar paste and your roller. But I'm winging it today. Okay. So I've rolled that out so that it's thinner than a pound coin, about the thickness of a 10p piece. And I'm just going to cut a strip off and just take those edges off so they're nice and square. I'm just going to lay this onto my hat and to just see if we've got roughly the right size. Now that needs to be a little bit longer, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently work it through my fingers, stretch it out a little bit, try not to put it too much out of shape. Okay, that's about there. Then again, I'm just going to take my paintbrush, a little bit of water on there. Sometimes the sugar paste just adheres to itself anyway because it's still quite nice and fresh, but the water just gives it an extra bit of tack to use. Okay. So we've got our colourful band on there. Now, where the join is, don't worry about that because we're going to put a buckle on there, which means that by covering the little join with a buckle, we get to keep this nice, continuous, unbroken band of purple, which is nice. Okay, so using some of my purple, you can use any colour you've got that's left over really. because I'm going to dust it in a second. I'm just going to cut a little buckley shape, kind of square rectangle kind of, I guess. I'm just going to size that up on there to see if that's about the right size. It's probably a bit big, but it doesn't matter. And then using a craft knife, oops, I'm just going to cut a little square out of the centre to give the impression that this is a little buckle. And just use the point of your craft knife, or if you have paintbrushes, the ends are always really handy, just to smooth back any snaggy untidy bits. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a little of this gold edible food dust and I'm just going to paint over that buckle. So you see now it didn't really matter what colour I used because we've covered it with the gold. If you haven't got any gold dust and you want to you know, make a buckle, maybe just make a sort of a little bit of yellow sugar paste and use that so it gives the impression. Okay, so there's a buckle. Now the dust sort of stops it from sticking so well, so again you just want to put a little bit of water there on the side. Okay, and we're just going to stick that on so it covers that join over. Let's have a look. Fantastic. Wicked Witch's hat. Whoops.